to have the session to identify a couple of things, because obviously there's already things I know, like some systems that you've already told me, or that I've been catching up on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But the progression of not only the items, preparing for the Shining Starfish that is about
Yep.
to come up, even though it is like really soon and really close to the last 5, 10, 15, so I don't really have time to save as much.
Yep.
Right now on the last page, I have like one of these calculators that tell you how much you make a week,
Mm-hmm.
and I am more or less there. Basically, in terms of what I'm clearing, just to give you an idea, I'm doing solo lucid. I should be doing solo will. I just do it to have a faster stage 3. And beyond that, I try to trim in the remaining of C10, even though I know I could definitely solo Gloom. I should be able to learn Vigila well enough to be able to do it. However, what I found out is that if I'm going to trim in the hard Vigila, I might as well just solo the regular one. It's more liberation points.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm trying to go that way. That's more or less where I'm standing. Close goals, obviously Black Mage. I know I should have enough to enter into Black Mage parties,
Mm-hmm.
but this time we came back to the game with some friends. They they had already accounts, but it was like 2016 mid-game progressed account, so it's basically new.
Yeah. One burn is more than
Yeah,
2 years of playing in that account, probably. Yeah.
in fact, one of those told me they know you. Their name is I am Brokey.
Oh. Yeah, that
Back
sounds
from
familiar. Yeah.
he was a Dark Knight back in the day. Now he created a Paladin. But yeah, the thing is, we want to clear back Black Mage together. But obviously, if we need to do like parties on our own while we are able to foreman it, it's probably good for Liberation as well. So we're in we have Black Mage in the horizon, but now we see him.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, or in our last session, I was so far away of Citeni that I didn't really imagine going there. But yeah, in terms of progression, I also want to try to find the most valuable upgrade available, basically. So where I can do the less effort to get decent results, and because I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to find myself like on the last 5, 10, 15, spending 20 billions on my monocle trying to get it to 21 or 22, and like breaking like 4 of them. So
Yeah.
it is a post nerf transpose monocle, by the way. It's not the.
Yeah. Yeah. I see. Yeah.
So yeah, that's more or less the the context of where I'm standing at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The other questions I had, I obviously have them around, but the identifying the most important upgrades is probably the main thing I would like to go into. And then how because I know you have like multiple characters. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
them are just mules, and some are like secondary characters.
Yep.
How do you manage the resources when I'm starting to get to the point where it is fine for me to have multiple characters? Then Nightwalker and the Bowmaster are two classes that I burned and I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to continue with them a little bit more, but
Yep.
feels like progressing the Hexa is impossible.
Yeah, that's
I
really
cannot,
tough. Yeah.
because I will right now my criteria is I will never give a fragment to them if my ace lighting is not maxed,
Well,
and I
there's
don't know
max.
if that's correct.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely wouldn't look at just max, like everything max level, because there's definitely for every character past a certain point, there's definitely a drop off in how much one fragment is really going to give you in damage, right? It's of course it's still going to give you something, um,
Hmm.
but if you want to start slowly funding up extra characters, especially now with Legion Champion out, there's definitely some kind of line that you have to draw, and you probably want to make that depend on being able to do. I would say probably like at least easy Kalos normal. Sorry, normal Kalos easy Kaling probably, so that you can start working on eternal pieces. Because the jump to the next one to normal Kaling and to C Kalos is pretty big. So that's even like 1,000 fragments is not really going to be enough for a difference there. That's going to have to be a lot of things at the same time, right? It's going to have to be
Yeah,
hitting some
that plus
pitches,
speed plus yeah.
22s, and fragments, and your whole account. So um, there is the. Have you ever used the Scouter? Because it kind of it
Yeah,
shows you.
I built the one
Mm-hmm.
before the like at the middle of the previous event, and well, I think it made it on the anniversary event, and that's where I found out because I before this time around I came back with something like just as a comparative number, 60 million CP. Now I am sitting at 72, even though I was 80 before they took the event stats away. And I was able to see that obviously I didn't kill Will until this time around. So I was just daily playing, completing some things, weekly farming some bosses and some mules as well. And I came
Mm-hmm.
back and realized I didn't try because since I didn't kill Will, I was
Mm-hmm.
always trying to get stronger to maybe solo Will at some point. And even though I had enough to solo the normal one, I wouldn't sit myself to learn phase three mechanics basically because I know them now and especially
Well, you were talking about hard lucid and will, right? Not normal that you're doing
well
now.
Will I didn't do neither normal or hard
Okay.
because I didn't want to solo it and I didn't want to mess with somebody else's party and I didn't want to learn it. So the sum of all those conditionings were not doing it at all. So but I realize I am way stronger than it is enough and got to it, soloed the normal, got to learn a little bit more about mechanics and jumped into the hard one. And now even
Mm-hmm.
the hard one is something we in a duo party, we basically burst the third phase, and I don't really need to time my TP too much when they
Mm-hmm.
wide eye me over.
Yeah, you're not in there for long enough, right? Yeah, because
Exactly,
with
exactly.
Hexa like this, it should be pretty doable, yeah. And okay, and C10A 3 men. And so nothing past that, nothing like Saren, Easy Kalos, you haven't tried any of those?
I got in a party for Seren, but they dropped. And I've watched a couple of videos of the boss. I want to try it. I also somebody told me it was more or less the same level of difficulty and progression needed as Hard Vigila. More or less, the normal one would be more or less around Hard Vigila. So it made it since I'm three manning Hard Vigila, I should be able to six man party the normal setup but I haven't tried just yet. I'm also waiting on my ability to be fully resetted on the upcoming ability 50% off. I'm not sure if I have enough honorary XP. I think I do. But...
Alright, yeah, 6.8. Oh, do you have like a do you have a good drop rate set up now at least for like opening boxes and stuff?
Yeah, I'm sitting at I'm 313 when I pop the Legion plus the Wealth plus the WAP. I got up to 383.
Okay.
In terms of boss,
Yeah,
I
pretty
think
good.
on the ninth slide, I am five line meso, nine lines drop, and it feels like getting a last one is really inefficient for my meso right now.
Yeah, 9 is fine. Yeah, if you don't get a double, that's totally fine.
Oh,
It's just
I
like
didn't put
when you're
the drop
chasing
item
like all the
category.
pieces, sometimes you hit a double, right? And then it's nice, but like not having the double and then probably having the 50 or 60% drop and not the 100% drop is usually where you lose some. But other
Mm-hmm.
than that, it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Um,
I just need to double line one of my. already existing drop. The only thing is
Yeah.
that before, when I was progressing, I and progressing my drop year, I knew that if I double meso something, I could redo one of the single meso lines and find drop in it. But
Yep.
now it's strictly double drop needed. Or well, if I triple meso, I think I can do the same, but it's unprobable.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen super often, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
But
that's
if you have
like
that,
I
yeah.
have that project past probably past 21 arcanes. I
Mm-hmm.
can go back and try to find that last line there. I think before there's probably
Of drop?
either flames or yeah, either flames or just more Starford because I think
Um.
I'm
Well, the
still
earlier the better, right?
yeah,
Because
that's
I don't
also true.
think if ice lightning, does ice lightning want to use contouring? I think, right? Because of the 1 minute burst.
It is either Contrink 4, which I already have,
Okay, yeah, okay.
or
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 16
Roar
swaps
plus plus yeah,
plus all
plus the
of it.
weapon
Yeah,
jump.
yeah.
But when they say plus the weapon jump, they mean like use the roar, burst, swap to weapon jump, burst, swap to and be switching between each other or
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Well, that's 2 minute,
that's
right? Yeah, yeah. So you put a burst on slightly
yeah, it
bigger
is
on two
2 minutes.
minute with your
Mhm.
goddess blessing. Yeah.
The idea is that they when they change it, I don't know if the roar for it's strictly gonna be better than the continuous or what. If that's the case, I would like to find one roar 4. Right now, I don't have that issue because I only have a roar 3.
Well, yeah,
But
you always want to go for and a hold one because especially if you're going into Kalos is more of that you just have long periods of the boss being immobilized and then you want to squeeze as much damage in a short time as possible. And then
mhm,
you because DPMing is especially in the beginning when you're learning the boss fight, DPMing is going to be very hard. So you can't
yeah,
really count on the on the damage of the count as much because especially if you have support in the party, then really bursting out in those segments with everyone together is going to be way more important than the overall long term damage of the continuous. But we've got the 2 minute changes coming as well next month. So
mhm.
I don't know for every class exactly how everything is changing, but I do know now in Korea they're changing Infinity to just be a passive final damage buff and no
Oh
longer
yeah.
like buff duration and timing, all of that. So I imagine if it's just all going to be passive and with 2 minute changes, I'm going to think that they're basically going to. Well, you still have the 1 minute burst, I think. But yeah, it's going to be close. Most classes are just going to run Roar, but Ice Lightning because of the
I think
longer
it's
buffs
better. I think
might
it's
still be
better
cons.
because
But yeah.
when you because Ori first on the
Mm-hmm.
burst. So when we well, at least I'm
Yeah,
doing
because it
it that
lasts a
way.
long time, right? The effect.
Yeah, exactly. And it is super long. Even the
Mm-hmm.
animation is like half or a third of the roar.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot get out to cast my other abilities and try to burst it. And when I do, even though it is I have continuous damage, but my very burst I would like to do it on the roar. I was using the roar 3 for a while until I found the continuous 4
Mm-hmm.
and it feels way easier. The only uneasy part would be to be swapping around. So
Yeah, ring swapping is terrible. Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're playing 2 minute now, then you kind of want to double ring swap to make sure your roar is always together with your origin, and then lose a lot
and
of
on top of that,
time
I need
and
to
go
time
full combo.
my infinity to be
Yeah, and that as well. Yeah, a little bit too many
like
moving
fully.
parts for the for the quality.
Yeah, exactly. And then the boss hits you and you can swap. It's
Yep. Or you
so
hit one of
yeah.
your summons hits sometimes, and then puts you in combat, and then you're just stuck again. I mean, the last line of drop rate shouldn't be super duper expensive, right? It's probably something with just one drop or one mezzo that you can hybrid or double drop out, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's expensive, quote unquote, but like if you're making, would you say, 11 bill a week, it should only be like 2 weeks worth of money. Um,
Mm.
So that's not too crazy,
Yeah,
but of course, with the fact and with the Shining coming up, you want to save completely for
it
that,
feels
and
weird
then
because I've been the last Shining I was playing, and
hmm
then like th 2 or 3 weeks after we got the 510 or the 30% off, and now we have another one. So that is why I feel I never have time for something that is not Star for.
yeah, no, they are more common. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people wait for cube sales, but cube sales usually only around May and around December, so we're
That's
just
what I thought
pretty much in the
Shining
middle
Star
of
for
that.
were going to be
Well, I wouldn't
scheduled
wait
or.
for cube sale for just one item and just one line. I mean, but
Oh yeah,
especially if you're trying to build up your Legion champions and getting other characters funded up as well, I totally understand keeping your mezzo for that, and then that one line of drop isn't that super crazy. It's just the faster you get the drop rate stuff done, you get your ring boxes to hit that roar 4. You can start getting pitches earlier. It just connects to you get more familiars when you're training, etc., etc. Like it just connects to everything. But of course, if you're
yeah,
already in the 380s, you're already quite high up there. So it's not going to be, if you go from 100 to 120%, it's way more impactful than if you go from 380 to 400%, of course. It's still good, but it's,
yeah. No,
I
no,
understand with
I
the
see what
state of
you.
your account that it's not a super high priority.
Also,
Um,
should I be making Legion champions even though I could get them to clear like only one of them get them to clear like Hard Lotus?
everything helps. So, if you can unlock, I forgot what rank it is, if it was S or if it was A. But if you can unlock the third slot as well, you can do the champion battleground, get your coins, right? That gives you ability to buy buffs, and then with those buffs, you can, uh, the coins reset every month. So, well, the coins for this month are already almost resetting. Have you looked into Legion Champion at all?
A little bit, but mostly the requirement per tier. So
Mm-hmm.
so I know the first one is like Hard Lotus, and then it jumps drastically into like uh
Then it's Vihela, I believe, and then
yeah,
Black Mage, Heart Saren, and then normal Kalos.
yeah, and it it right now for me it just makes sense that I can clear Hard Lotus because
Mm-hmm.
Vihila I am around the corner, but I am as I just mentioned I am making the decision to start doing the normal weekly just to try to liberate a little bit faster because if I'm three manning the hard Vihila I'm getting 30 I would might as well
Yeah,
get 45 on the normal one.
yeah. That's a good idea. I mean, you can do it in practice mode. If you get the
Does that
practice mode
count?
clear, that
Oh,
counts. Yeah.
for
Mm-hmm. If you go do the
okay.
boss and then you just select the challenge, and then on the left side you select practice, and then you can do it in the same week as you do the regular clear. But if you're gonna do the hard clear for the challenge, then you might as well do the regular hard clear, right? Because then you just
Exactly.
get better drops
Exactly.
and you get
So
boxes. So you can try the regular hard form a bunch of times, and if you don't get it before the end of the week, you can always just still knock out normal, right, and try again next week. Um, but there's the event buff, right? So I already saw you have this one, the mystical elixir. This is basically the for you. This seems like this is the best setup. You can still go higher than this or lower, but you either buy the magical um, herbs, but
yeah,
they're
the
quite
plants of
expensive, so you could just wait. But 50, 50, 20 is like the basic amount, and it can go above this. The boss damage can go up to 70. EXP can go up to 100%. Buff duration, I'm not 100% sure how high it can go because I'm not using it, but I'm guessing 30 or 35 or something like that. But I
okay.
imagine your infinity already lasts quite a bit now, right? So it's probably not as necessary.
Yeah. Also, speaking of buff duration, I know I'm gonna be dropping a little bit when I go from the one line legendary invulnerability into the
Yeah,
attack speed plus 35.
yeah, that won't make that
How
much of a difference.
how what's the best way to do that? Because I was checking on a tutorial that you should like reroll it until you get the unique line that is correct for you, and then
Mm-hmm.
lock that one and
Yeah,
start looking for the
and then the
legit
rest
line.
basically. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So, I mean, you have yeah, you're gonna roll over your current one, right? So you basically just full re-roll until you hit um, unique buff skill duration. What a lot of people do is at first they'll roll with circulators
Hmm.
because then if you hit every single line you hit with the circulator is always going to be the highest percentage it can be for the line that hits. So if it's unique, it'll always be 38%.
The 35. Yeah. Oh, 38. Okay, okay.
38, yeah. So if you roll circulator first, then you can also always, if it doesn't work out, you can always pick the line before as well. So you don't have to pick the new roll, right? So with the regular miracle circulators, so it's also
Hmm.
pretty safe. It's like black flames for your potential, basically. So
Yeah.
always do it on a day that there's 50% off, and then roll circulators first. And if you don't hit, I would say always set a budget, be it 1 bill, be it 5 bill, be it 10 bill, whatever. Because once that hits, then you can lock that in, and then you can start rolling. So you want that to be on the same day that there's a 50% off, right? So you make as little loss as possible, and hopefully a gain. And then you look for the other two lines that are useful for ice lightning. I assume that's
Attack speed
probably just
and
attack speed
boss.
and damage to debuff, probably, or boss damage. Yeah.
Yeah. The other, I have a question going back into the Star Force because I used to
Mm-hmm.
have like infinite belts. The every room that is now occupied by either spurs or like random cracked Golux that I have there because I haven't uncrafted them. They were all belts, and that is why I jumped into 22. But now I am starting to have the same quote unquote issue with the earrings, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I should just for peace of mind try to find the 22 superior earrings or just leave it at 21 for a really long time because I still can get upgrades somewhere else. And the other main issue that I'm trying to measure is because I was checking on I don't remember who mentioned it, but something like doing one arcane at a time instead of letting them would allow you to save pieces and spurs more efficiently when you get boxes. Because if you're quote unquote done with the glove, you can now start setting capes and when you open the box, it can be like everything but glove now, and then everything but glove and cape, and then you just have more spurs, but it feels too expensive for my budget, and it feels like I could definitely get some things to 19 and get some upgrades there.
Yeah. So you're thinking about it the right way, definitely. There's if you're making a lot of money, then it just makes more sense to get them to do them one at a time because you don't have all those floating spares, right? If you're in the lead up to an event where you know you're going to be upgrading, might be a good idea to time when you're doing the bosses so that you can have as many boxes possible and keep them as boxes for the event. So don't run on like um did you already run this week since the reset?
I think it, yeah, I did.
Yeah, so usually you don't want to do that. You want to wait until we go past Monday, right? Because then it's still this week, but then the boxes can last you all
Oh,
the way until Sunday during the event. If you had gotten one, right? You probably didn't get
yeah,
one
no,
because
I
they're pretty
didn't.
rare. Yeah, but for future reference, it's better because a box is basically a backup for all of them, but you don't have to
Yeah,
choose which one yet, right? So that's very valuable because you can imagine if you could buy a backup now, that's also kind of a universal backup. But if you have just a box, you could try to get your shoes to 18. If they go, okay, you can try to shoulder. If they go, you can try to cape because up to 19 is very low chance of actually blowing up. So, but you go 1 star at a time. If something booms, you open a box, you replace it, and then you're done. But so you potentially could have one item booms, you have to replace it, you gain nothing. But with one box, you could also technically roll everything up to 21 if you get lucky and you have no booms, and then you save yourself months and
yeah.
months of opening backups and all that shit. But you probably have some droplets saved up, right? You can buy droplets. You've done Lucid and Will for a while, so you can probably buy some backups, right?
Yeah, and I also have like 200 or something. Well, no, I have like 140 droplets. The
Mm-hmm.
boss's one I have to make. I have enough to make what like a lot of them, like 6 items or something.
So 12.
The
Yeah. Hmm.
but the other droplets I don't really want to be buying because if I use a quarter of the budget of the event into buying the droplets, it just feels like a bad move at that point. I might as well upgrade something else. However, I'm running low on something else's, and I'm
Exactly.
start.
Yeah. And the things that you can, I mean, your upgrades that you're looking at in your account is basically just 22 in your CRA and like 19 in your arcanes. That's like the next two things to do.
How close I am to doing the CRA because I know it should be fairly safe to do. I have infinite amount of
Oh,
free
backups.
placements,
Yeah. Hmm.
but at 21, from 21 to 22, I don't gain that much. But yeah, I don't know if I can gain much somewhere else. I know my face and eye is something I'm paying a little bit of extra attention to because I'm sitting at 17 and 19, and right now those are like the lowest available
Yeah, but you have
stars
your
to have.
dineros, right? You have a dinero bottleneck there a little bit. You have enough for one backup, I think, right? So
I will have two by the time of the event, but yeah, I will have like two extra monocles or tattoos, probably monocles because it is transposed. And I also got yesterday I got the my first Twilight mark,
hmm.
so it feels like a pitch to me. I know they should be more common if you're doing them every single week,
Well, you're
but
not doing hard will, right?
no, no, I am
Oh,
now,
yeah, no, okay,
but
okay. But you weren't for a long time, so you basically
I
were
went for a long time. Yeah,
cutting your
yeah.
chances in half. Plus, if you're not doing it solo, then right, if you're doing
It,
it for 5 weeks with three people, you have like 1 in 15, And if you're doing it for 10 weeks alone, now you have 20 times the chance or something, whatever the numbers are. You
yeah.
really, the earlier you start running and the smaller the party you start running, your odds just get way better. Add on top of that having all the drop rate, etc.
Yeah, I also
That's the only
do.
way.
Will and Slime are in terms of bossing my next because I'm doing them in duo right now. I
Yep.
will cut that to do them in solo. I
Yep.
was getting closer to that, and then I lost part of the events buff. So right now I feel a little weaker, but it's
Hmm.
probably just get even more practice and a little damage here and there. I'm always telling like the same thing we always do. Like on Monday, we'll start the gym. Well, after the next Star Force, I will start soloing the wheel and the slime and probably the gloom as well. And then Darknell is painful because I've done it in parties of two, and I lost like 2 weeks in a row. So I downgraded to parties of three.
Hmm.
And the parties of two were with random players, so they wouldn't redo for me when the boss is on 5%, which I kind of understand. They already did the whole time, but
Yeah.
I basically lost them 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that
So
sucks. Yeah.
I decided 3 men is the sweet spot for now until I get hands enough to read my screen when he's about to FMA.
How close is the lib?
In theory, well, right now I'm sitting on Lotus, and I have like see that here. I have 440 Traces of Darkness on the Lotus quest.
Okay, so you're at like step 7. Is that where you're at?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, still quite a bit to go.
If I continue to do the bosses the same party size I am doing right now, it should be by December or something.
December? Yeah. Yeah, sounds right. Yeah,
The
I'm like
other,
barely doing anything here. This guy's
I
like halfway.
so my question would be if because I calculate that I will be able to save around 40 bills, 30 something, maybe above 40 if I farm a little. But I think I wanted to, before the session, I wanted to go for the monocle. I think that is right now my only 17 that is not arcane. So made sense in my mind to just try to get something else. Also, that is like 17 and a half because of the transpose.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
I
would. I mean, on the for the Star Force event, like for the priority, I would definitely just get the Sweetwater monocle to 19 and just keep it there. The you can keep getting the narrows. The good thing about the tattoo being 19 basically means that when you get the Twilight mark, you can immediately just try 20. Just
can
try
I
20
YOLO
or
it to
nothing.
20?
Yeah, because even if it's like the same stars as the Sweetwater tattoo, it'll be like around the same, a little bit weaker, a little bit the same because you don't have set bonus. So as long as you don't have set bonus, you can gamble a little bit more with it because you're not losing anything directly, right? Like you're not losing.
If
Um,
I find the slime ring on the next week, would
yeah,
you be more careful with the Twilight?
yeah. You want to get towards the Twilight, but you can still use the Twilight to also kind of gamble on the Sweetwater tattoo, even if you don't have backup, because whichever one goes, right? So I mean, first I would just try to get the monocle to 19 if you don't have. That should just go to 19. That's a pretty free upgrade. Especially if you have two backups, right? That's pretty much guaranteed. And then I would try to get the Twilight mark up to 20. If it goes, then you can do the tattoo to 20. If it doesn't go, then you switch to Twilight mark. And if it does go, then you try 21 on Twilight mark and just like one star just over the other, basically walk them up.
Yeah.
But
And
21, I'd probably just stop and then just switch over to the Twilight mark and then just keep whatever it is. Sweetwater tattoo will be at 20 then, I guess, and then keep that one just like on the side. Then
yeah,
you can
last event I
do
didn't
bigger
have the
stuff.
Twilight mark and I had only one slime ring.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to replace because on my boss gear right now I have one event ring still. So that's roughly a 15 star uh or 17-star ring, something like that. But I wanted to YOLO the slime not to 20 something, but at least to 19
Yeah,
because I
19
didn't
is.
have the Twilight as well. So I
Mm-hmm.
tried to go for it and it boomed.
Yeah.
And then I knew I had a lot of pieces for my Maester ring that I also could use as a replacement for the event ring.
Mm-hmm.
But that one I didn't realize I didn't have the little black materials that many of them, so I
The
was able to craft like
oh.
two and boom
Mm-hmm.
them too.
The grand spell essence is probably
Yeah.
usually the bottleneck. Yeah. They increased the drop rate for that, but I
That
mean
only comes
it's
by farming, right? I cannot get it by.
yeah, and by extracting recipes, but that takes forever, and the odds are horrible. So yeah,
Okay.
it's basically just training and drop rate gear. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, okay.
But yeah,
So
Star Force wise, it would be it's yeah monocle 19, and then Twilight Mark. Walk it up with the Sweetheart tattoo. There's definitely like I don't know if your gear was weaker, you definitely just want to make 17 Twilight, 17 Slime Ring. Just move into those, and then just kind of go from there. But since you already have stronger pieces, I would also just aim for higher before you commit to the flame and before you commit to the potential on these items, and just really try it on the Star Force first. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go, and then you can focus your money on other things. You know.
okay, and do you think right after the monocle it would be better to do the ping pong between the Sweetwater and the Twilight,
Yeah,
or should I
yeah, because
jump
the
to 19 Arcane?
I did Twilight first because it's lower level, so it's much cheaper, and also your tattoo is only unique, right? So you're also uh you know then if you know that Twilight hits, then you can immediately get it to legendary, and you can get a better flame on it because of flame advantage. So it'll immediately be
Mhm.
a strong upgrade. And then if you just hit a slime, um, even just a 17 slime will be a really big upgrade over the fourth ring then as well immediately because the set bonus will unlock.
Fair enough, fair enough.
So I would do that,
Okay.
and then after that would be the arcanes. Yeah, just one star at a time, and try
Yeah,
to
and I
get them
can
all
only do it
to
right now, two
19.
of them, because I have like, well, no, actually I can do more. I have the cape, I have the glove,
Mm-hmm.
one replacement for each,
Mm-hmm.
and then I could make like one extra with the droplets I already have.
Well,
So I
we'll have a
could
reset, right? So you for next time you want to do the bosses between
and
Thursday
keep
and
the
Sunday, right?
yeah.
do
Well,
as many
exactly. But isn't
C10A.
it next week? Like not tomorrow, but
Yeah, next week.
next
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Yeah. So on the next um reset on Wednesday to Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
I can I can just save those boxes from there until the weekend, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But like
Okay.
like I was
Okay.
saying, like for next time, if something like that happens again, it's a good idea for the week before. So this week we're in now to delay them a
I have
little
like
bit.
two chances
So yeah, so
instead
you
of one.
double the odds because one
Yeah.
box just having not having to buy one piece is like 5 bill worth or something, right? So
Exactly.
which in for you would be like half of a week's full income just from a box, which would be really nice if you can get that. And then the more C10 you're doing, the more chances for all the boxes, so it all adds up together. That's not affected by the
Yeah. I
event,
also
but
think
still.
I am super close to the. I mean, it is. We're already too close to the event, and I won't be able to save as much. I could have better projects if I had more time between the events, but since they are back to back, I need to
Yeah,
basically
they're
try to
clustered.
get small upgrades here and there, and then when they give us some time to breathe, save a little bit longer. But after I do this run of Starfest, because after that, in like 3 weeks after or 2 weeks after, there's a 30% off. Do you think I should skip that one?
I typically just
It,
skip all 30% offs. Yeah, I only do 5, 10, 15s if I have really things to do and I have a lot of money. Otherwise, if Shining is even remotely close, everything just goes to Shining and ignore everything else basically. But yeah, 30% off is by far the least good of all of them because um, just mathematically, only it's only about as good if you're gonna do it on items that you're not gonna safeguard. So like, if you were to like 22 CRA, then it's about the same as doing it during a 5, 10, 15 for like 22 starring. But because 30% off, every single upgrade also costs less. You take longer to spend your money, so you're actually losing time that you could spend making money. You're spending it spending it more. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
you kind of lose the little bit of gains that you could be making from the 30% off. So it's about the same, but it's mostly good for items that you wouldn't safeguard. Then 30% off is good, and the higher you
So
go, the
those
better.
series, for example, on the CRA.
Yeah, for example, on CRA, yeah. So let's say that you do all those projects and the arcanes goes decently. Maybe you get like two 19s and one 18, and the other one is stuck on 17 or something like that, and you start getting really low on money, and the 30% off comes around. You could try, but I would definitely use the calculator, right, to see what the costs are. Because if by then you haven't made that much money back, it might still be a decently high risk. Just try 22 because 21 to 22 is always pretty high risk, and you don't want to like lose 3 stars just to try to gain one, right? Then that
Yeah.
might be a better idea to just skip and then maybe work on the potentials a little bit because there's a few things that you could be working on for
Oh, but I
potentials that I
have
also saw.
I didn't screenshot it, but I have a 19 superior earring that I could. I don't know if I should be beginning with that superior earring, try to get it past 20, and if it booms, I go to another one, or if I should be getting something like a reinforced to 21 again, pass it to transfer it to a superior, by always along this way keeping my 21 safe and a part of this, and then trying to get a new one to 22 without risking the existing 21, or I should just try to maybe use it.
Um, well, I would say that would be after 19 arcaning and probably after 22ing CRA, right? So we're already
Okay.
quite a few steps. I would do the accessories and then then the arcanes, then your CRA, and then you can go into trying the earrings. Yeah, you have a whole flock of earrings. I see. I mean, you have 6, so you always want to. The risk assessment always comes down to how many you have, right? If you have, let's see, you don't have full 3 line or double prime. No, you just have 18 on a 21, and you have 6 backups. Honestly, at that point, with how many you have, um, but you already have full drop rate set completed, right? So you don't really need strong pieces there. There's there's like 5 or 6 different ways that you can do it. None of these are necessarily wrong. They can just be preference. But the main thing that you want to set out is if when you have a bunch of different options when you're star forcing, is that you don't just lock into one strategy and then run that into the ground, but if it goes bad, you adapt, right? Like if you spend a
Okay.
lot of your money, then maybe you just need to stop and just wait for another, and your item doesn't want to blow up. Then maybe you just pause and wait until you have more money and then go again, because maybe then you have more backups and then you can do a different strategy. Or if a lot of stuff blows up, maybe you settle for something lower, or maybe you make another one on the side and then just do the full risk on there, so that if it doesn't go, you can keep your current one, and if it does go, then you can always swap over, right? Something like that. So if you have
Okay.
six, you can go pretty high risk, and I mean, all of it comes down to the numbers in the calculators, right?
Also, I have two questions. One, in terms of the priority, when would you try to 22 the kind of treasure, and how would you address the
Oh, Conatrace is
what
before,
options?
yeah. It's about the same as the CRA basically, because you have a
Okay.
lot of backups as well. So it's in the same group.
And also, how would you address the, because I know this is the wider open slot I have, the event ring. A 17 Guardian Angel would be better, especially now that I have a Twilight, if especially if that doesn't boom trying to get to 20 or 19. But I also have Maesters I could craft. So if my plan A would be to find a Guardian Angel slime. If I don't, I'm trying to get a
I
Maester.
wouldn't
Would
I
you?
wouldn't go Meister on this character. Because you've got the
Okay.
superior unlock, you got the kind of treasure. You can get the slime pretty easily, and you're gonna go continuous. I think Meisters at this point, this character is like past Meisters being useful. I would say if you had
Okay.
maybe only like one or two Kana treasure rings, then I would say maybe, because you might want to have more for backups and for transfer hammer into 22 superior in case that goes wrong, right? But since you already have this many, I think, and you already said your unlimited resources, I would keep Meisters as an option, maybe as a backup for other characters. But for this one is past Meisters, I would say.
Okay, so you would just 17 the Guardian Angel at some point that will go alongside a Twilight Mark, and then when I have enough backups for that Guardian Angels, 19, 21, maybe 22 at some point.
Yeah, and it comes down to your patience and how quickly the backups go before. Like, let's say an event comes around, you have one Guardian Angel, and you're sitting on a 17. I would say that I would try to get it to 19. If it goes to 19, I would just keep 19, and then like if you want to go if you want to go from 17 to 19, I would say if you have one backup, you can always try it, right? If you want to go
Hmm.
from 19 to 21, I would probably I would want to have at least three backups, because then I know it's probably going to boom once, because fuck this game, it always happens. But you have a really, really good chance of getting back to 19 and a very low chance of having to go back down to 17 and settle that down to 17. Basically, want to minimize the chances of losing progress. And if I want to go 21 to 22, I usually look for at least five backups, 5 to 6 backups usually. But that 21 to 22 is always, for me, it's always in terms of like necessity, right? Like, let's say that your character is just kind of locked, you don't like training, you're not going to get any damage from the matrix, etc., etc., and you have backups and you have money, so you want to make some gains that way. But then I'm pretty risk averse. Um, but yeah,
Will I
like, yeah.
will I ever use the Stella earrings?
So yeah, there's a situation where you can, but it depends on which pitch drops you get, and then if you hit on certain pitch drops just enough to get rid of superior, so the set breaks, then the stellar rings can come in and replace the superior earrings because they can be stronger at 22 individually, and because the set bonus is broken with the better flame, and then with the additional set bonus with the other daybreak pieces, that'll be a stronger piece until you can hit um, the CFEs. The I don't even know what the abbreviation stands for anymore.
Yeah, the
Kentucky Fried Earrings. No, the Commander Force earrings, something like that, right?
Commander Force.
Yeah,
Commander Force. Yeah,
commanding force. Yeah,
Dark one.
until you hit those.
The
So typically you have to hit. You have to hit the belt. You have to hit the belt, and I think you want to be 6 set. the belt, eye face, book emblem, pendant, something like that, and then replace. Yeah, but you have to hit the belt at least. So you have to hit the belt and not the earring. Then the stones can
How
come in.
how big is, because I can see it on the numbers, but how big is the feeling of upgraded for from arcane into lit?
Wait, say that again.
How big does it feel the upgrade when you jump from arcane into Genesis weapon?
Oh, yeah, you have to look at how strong your weapon is now, right? What was yours? 18 stars or something?
Yeah, random 18 for
18,
for
7,
for
4, 5. You have 2 line of attack. I mean, let's say that you get wait, this guy isn't lived, right? No. I think for my characters it was about like 30 million combat power. If you get like decent flame and like 2 line attack, 1 line boss potential, something like that, 3% attack soul, was
okay.
about a 30 mil combat power increase.
And the current potential from weapon secondary and emblem, I
Hmm.
think they are okay, but what do you think? Are they any upgrade in the future? Should I be dropping more defense on the shield?
No,
Probably not, right?
I would work on this potential probably even before the drop rate, probably a little bit on all three. But because 5, 10, 15 is coming, that's higher priority now. You
Yeah,
know,
but on which potential? Sorry, on the emblem or the shield?
probably. Well, you kind of want to work on all three. If you're only halfway to libbed, like the not having even like 1 line of magic attack and like 2 line boss or something is pretty cheap, and that would already upgrade your weapon quite a bit as well. That 32 attack is basically just a completely dead line, right? Um, Emblem, you can. I mean, if you can hit some IED and 2 magic attack there, that would be for overall for your account. But you have the IED on the FAMs, so that's not as, because you're basically looking at only 3 line magic attack there, or maybe like a line of damage or something. But that's already pretty closely going to like 15 to 20 bill or something. I think for the secondary, look at the. Wait, which one is this? No, I don't want this one. I want Coolbing. Coolbing. Cost. Oh, it is right there. Oh, I'm blind. Um, Wep. Glow. Legendary. 200. Because you're still a while away from libbing. 1 line attack. 2 line boss. Yeah, it's only like 7.5 bill. So that's like median cost is like half of a week's of your income, but that would give you quite a bit of damage. Even if 75% chance is only like a week's worth of income just to get 1 line attack, 2 line boss on your weapon. So I probably do that. And then the secondary I think is a bit more expensive, but is about the same. But these are like the budget options, 1 line attack, 2 line boss. Make sure that all 3 lines are doing something. And because you have so much IED, the IED line on your secondary is not that good. But the boss damage is kind of like a double prime. Typically, you go for emblem first, especially since you're not doing Saren yet. But you're only out here for upgrade is 3 line magic attack, which is about 30 bill. So that's gonna be more expensive than the other two combined. So like after the star forcing, but I'm guessing the 22ing CRA is probably not gonna happen this event, but probably yeah. If you can get your arcanes 19, probably the next upgrade after that would be the
The
you know
CRA,
gonna
right?
gonna treasure and CRAs like one group.
It
But
will
in
depend
between,
on how fast I get if Monaco the ping pong between the Twilight and the tattoo goes easy
uh-huh.
and the Arcane 19 goes easy. I need to see how much left I have and see if it makes sense to try to 22 a CRA piece
Yeah, see,
or the cannon.
like the median cost, the average cost is pretty low, even if it. Is this normal? Is this so low? Damn, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, you might have enough money to get them done, right? Because there's a pretty high chance that they just go.
And the difference between the median and the average there is so high because I'm so close that
Yeah.
a lot
hmm
of times it will go like
Yeah. If you
instantly
boom and you go
and
back from 12, then you get closer to like you know six,
yeah.
7, something like that, which is way more reasonable. Um, but I'm looking at like 7 here for 1 star, right? So 1 star is what was it? 11 stat and 16 magic attack, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at how much that is, that's already over half the cost of the weapon, right? Getting basically gaining a whole line of potential. That's going to give you way more damage. So probably before the CRA and the kind of treasure, I probably pause there. Like if you can get those arcane gains again, because it's level 200 stuff, you're going to save way more money, right? On level 200 stuff, it's going to be way more impactful on how much
Uh-huh.
your uh,
Gaining
uh,
from the shiny, yeah.
yeah. So then I would focus more on doing this stuff because if you for some reason do it out, it's just like it's
And I'm
easy
looking for
billions.
either triple line attack or one line double boss.
Yeah, triple attack, one line double boss, 2 line attack, 1 line boss,
A
anything like
combination
that.
of
Yeah,
attack and boss, basically.
yeah. You want to have all three combination attack boss exactly. Yeah, on both these two, and then the emblem I would push back a little, I guess. The good thing about emblem though now is that you can buy backup emblems, right? And just get another legendary one and just roll there on glowing cubes. The other
Oh, I
two
didn't.
you already have stuff. Yeah, you can just go to the regular vendor. What is it in? Is there a guy in Sleepywood? I think, or is Sleepywood even Sleepywood? I think that guy just sells emblems now, so you can here emblem. Yeah, you can just buy another one.
Okay. Also, setting up
Wait, why
the
these?
because
Yeah.
right now I only have one character that clears Lotus. So setting up the Legion
Mm-hmm.
champion,
Champion. Yeah.
uh, does it cost anything? Does it harm my account in any way? I knew for activation it was like 1 bill, which I could do, and it shouldn't affect the Shining Surfers all that much. But
If you're only doing you're only going to be doing the first challenge. The first challenge is only what is it, 20 stats and like 1,000 HP and MP or something. So that's not even going to be a noticeable amount of
yeah, that doesn't work 1 bill right now.
yeah, 20 also 1,000 HP and MP, and it only works on the other champions. So at most it's going to affect 2 other characters.
Oh, it
So
doesn't work on itself.
yeah, yeah, you're on yourself and on just all the selected champions, but
I
only the
see.
ones you see on this screen, not like this that it works for everyone passively, only this.
Yeah.
But the main thing is that you get the coins, and then with the coins you can buy oh, this guy can't, of course, but you can buy buffs to make your character stronger. So for EXP when
And
you're training,
even with
bossing.
even with like one, how do you get the coins? By upgrading the tier of the Legion champion or
No, so Legion Champion. So you unlock your first 2, and then I think if they're both S, but I could be mistaken because I just blew through it. I think if 2S, I think you unlock the third slot, or was it 2A? One of those two. Then you unlock the third slot, and then Champion Battleground is basically just like a little dragon mini game. You just kill some monsters, and then when you have enough points, a little boss spawns, and that just repeats 4 times. And then you go to the next map, and then that goes 4 more times, and you go to the next map, and then there's 4 of those maps in total, basically. But I think the most you
but
can
I
get is
need I need a
40,000.
I need to be able to do more than just
Yeah,
Lotus to be able
yeah, you're gonna have
to
to do
unlock
Vihila
that.
on multiple characters to unlock the third slot. Yeah, so you're really just looking at getting your second character a little bit more online now. But for you, it's mostly just your first character trying to get a little bit more passive. The second one is 10 attack and 10 magic attack, which isn't crazy good either. But then it's 5 boss damage and then 3 critical damage, and the last one is IED. So
Mm.
that's why I have the
And
last one I don't have unlocked yet.
how do you go? because we barely touch it. Like maybe my I will need to check also on the mages Discord, even though they might probably just tell me to keep on upgrading the matrix because
Mm-hmm.
it's a main mages. So why would
Yeah.
they want me not to progress the main versus progressing an eye walker? But
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah. So
think
I was
I'm
talking
getting
about that,
close
right?
to.
About the fragments. So if you do the scouter, on the bottom you've got the hexa efficiency, and then here it basically shows you like the percentage uh, FD efficiency per 100 fragments, and you can just see it like dropping, right? And after a while, it's going to be so low that yes, it still gives me damage, but you see like 0.424% per every 100 fragments. At that point, if you can take those fragments instead and put it into another character, like unlocking a mastery core or something, right, on your second or third character, that's going to give you way more damage, going to make Hard Lotus easier, and then having more Hard Lotus running characters for your account is also a good, really good idea because then, well, not yet for you, of course, but it's good to have a backlog or like a pile of the black hearts so that if you do hit some pitch pieces, then with the black heart you can give yourself a little bit extra damage, maybe to, if you ever want to do like in a smaller party black mage for more points, or if you want to do C10A solo for a week with it, right, so that you can get more points to get closer to lib. Or for one of the challenges for Legion Champion, where if you need extra damage to unlock it early, because you just need to do it one time, and then it's unlocked, right? And then it's just unlocked for the rest of time until you decide to unlock a champion and relock a new one. But you're probably not going to want to be doing that for a long time.
Yeah. Also, the other resources that are not only fragments, I treat them as mules. I'm really patient with how I do that. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I just got Absol on the newest one on the Nightwalker. Because the other one has the challenger set still. I'm trying
Yeah.
to get arcanes. It doesn't seem possible for that character to get a box. So I might, if we get closer to November, I might just do hard Lomin and get Apso for that one. But I didn't want to downgrade to Apso from the challenger. So I'm trying to get the arcanes to have some backups there for that one. And then I
Yeah.
just throw leftover cubes, leftover flames, the same as when I was building the mules up,
Mm-hmm.
leftover from the week.
Yeah.
And
With
I have
shining, it
like,
might also be a good idea to look into if you don't have CRA built yet for the Bowmaster, or if it's still like 17 or 19, see if you can get 21 CRA
oh
because
no,
that's
it is,
really cheap.
they're both really new. I don't have CRA there. I just have
Mm-hmm.
the challenger set, so it is clean.
Yeah. Okay.
So I
Yeah,
would need to like
it's 150.
17.
So.
So, but maybe now that you mentioned that after the Arcane 19 with the
Mm-hmm.
leftovers, I should be able to 17 pieces
Yeah.
for those guys. The Apsos for the Nightwalker, the CRA for the Bowmaster for it to be better than the
Mm-hmm.
Challenger at some
It
point
should be
when I
very
get the
cheap to
Arcane.
do that. Yeah.
And maybe some pendants I have there here and there, like a superior belt I could drop, maybe getting it to 16 or something, leave it there.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay, so here with the mules, because also the three lines of the weapon and secondary, I
Mm-hmm.
can do in between events, so it shouldn't be.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and you want to have enough cubes, right? You want to give yourself a buffer that you don't have to settle for something lower or anything like that. So you need to
When you
give yourself
use
a few weeks.
when you use those calculators to more or less measure, how do you personally go about the numbers? Do you go with the average, the median? Do you add like 20% to that number?
Um, like at this point, these are like amounts that I don't even look at because if I have a good month, I make like 50 off of. So like I don't, whether it's two or three, like it doesn't even matter anymore, right? But in general, I look at the average. If it's a really big project, then the percentages can represent a really big, really big deviation. So then I tend to look closer at like the 75%. If you do a single item, you kind of want to. technically you would want to look at median if you're looking at single item, and if you're going to do a lot of items, it's better to look at average because you're going to have something that gets unlucky, and then you want to be prepared for that mentally. So
Mhm.
usually, if it's small projects, I look kind of like in between the median and average a little bit. Like I'll think something like 13 to 14, maybe something for this example, right?
But even
Um,
even after you do that, that is the realistic price that on average you will be expending.
mm-hmm.
But do you safeguard yourself by basically saying if it is between 11 and 14, do you say it is like 17? Just because if you save enough with that, you know it's probably gonna go well, or do you just
Well,
use it
what I
that
do
way?
is
And if that
I set the
item,
order. I set the order of the upgrades, and if one
oh
isn't
yeah,
done, I don't go to the next one.
okay, yeah, fair enough.
And
And then
then
before starting the last
yeah,
one, you check how much you have left, and if you're about to go from 21
after
to
every
17.
project, every single thing that hits, you're like, okay, what's the next one? Next one is going to be around 14, and how much do I have? Exactly 14. Then I know, okay, I might have to stop this one early, or I might not do this one at all. But if you still have like 50 bill, and the next one is like costs 8, like there shouldn't be any risk. So then you can check the
Yeah,
next one. But yeah,
and
as
it also
soon.
depends if you're going from 17 to 19, and
Mm-hmm,
you know 17. It happened to me with the monocle. I didn't hit the monocle. I used the very last one, and
mm-hmm,
then I got a 15-star monocle that I off event got to 17 because that was not all that expensive, even though it was a little expensive.
mm-hmm.
Uh, I knew 17 was a safe, but when you start going on the 19s or 21s and they downgrade, you are locked with the downgraded item. And
Yeah, so as soon as you start getting even remotely close to like, oh, there's a decent chance here that you don't make any upgrade at all, then I usually just pause and go look for something else because there's always going to be another event, right? There's always, and next time there's probably going to be more backups, so that means you can take different, probably more efficient, higher, what would be a higher risk, but because you have more backups, it's lower risk for you, so it's actually going to be cheaper for you. That's another way that you
yeah,
make money. You make money by, that's why they say like the rich get richer, because they're also able to make choices that allow them to get luckier, right? Like if you only
yeah,
have one
and
piece, you're not even allowed to get lucky because if you go past 17, you might just boom it on the first try. But if you have 6 of them,
exactly.
you
You
can
can
gamble
just
it and then you can even get lucky, right?
exactly, yeah, and there's a point where you stop safeguarding depending on the item and how ready it is to get and all, but there's a point where you just don't safeguard the kind of
Mm-hmm.
treasure and
You have a upgrade room, right? That you have access to?
no, that is the
Enhancement
last
room?
thing I wanted to ask. The last two sessions for the last years, I was playing on a guild by
Mm-hmm.
myself, basically.
Uh-huh.
And now we are three, and one of them is finishing their Challenger World thingy, and then they will transfer, and we will be four. We want to add
Okay.
more people slowly. We don't want to commit to having like a community and all because if we don't play for 2 weeks, we're leaving people without
Yeah,
the
yeah.
skills. But we wanted to be really chill about the timings we play and when we stop for a little bit and then we come back. But if somebody wants to hop in and be on a guild like that with their mules or something, cool. We have room
Yeah.
for that. We will start adding people. But right now, I wanted to ask you about upgrading the guild. I don't know anything about upgrading it because I didn't have the resources, so I never bother looking into it. So how do we upgrade the guild and how possible it is to progress with a small guild like that? Because I don't really want to either get into another one or redo it. We have like guild posts from 2016 on Scania. We have some from 2010, so it's more of a nostalgia thing than
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, just like expanding the room in the guild and everything is just, I mean, that's just a little bit of mezzo. That's not that much. Leveling the guild just takes members actively playing and just doing stuff, right? Just gathering points like the from the weekly missions, and that'll just level up your thing. That'll give you your once you get to level 20 or level 30, I guess you can get all your passives leveled up, which is just a little bit of extra attack. Was it damage to normal monsters? I think.
in
A
which
little
order would
extra.
you prioritize the noblesse skills? Obviously the crit damage first, but what
Yeah.
is second?
Damage because works for bosses and for regular monsters if you want to use it for training as well. Then
Okay.
typically boss and then IED last because IED typically everyone already figures out for themselves.
We right now have like with my mules, the mules of my friend and the main of the friend that just came from Challenger World. Right now we are about maxed crit, and then we get to use the damage one up to like level 6, 7 at the
Mm-hmm.
moment. So my short midterm goal would be to be strong enough to convert into two max skills, and that's probably about what's realistic. The third one can be difficult without more people. Would that be
Yeah,
correct, or?
even with like a handful of people, you can pretty quickly get to 45 skill points. Getting past that takes a lot of effort and gives you very little because it's only a little bit
Oh, so it is
IED.
realistic to have three max.
Yeah, maybe not with 3 people, but probably with like 5 to 10 people who play somewhat actively. Because for Culvert, you only need 60k in total. So you know, if you have 10 people
Okay.
who get 6k each, then you're good. And for Flag, you need 10k, and then just your missions, and then boom, that's 45. So
How much you can get per person on the flag?
1,000 is the highest per person.
Okay, I got because I've never done flag race. I did it like yesterday, and I got like 300 or something like that, and I didn't. It
Yeah,
said
that's the
complete,
minimum
and I
score
don't
now.
know. Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, minimal
So
300. If you do anything, if you just complete the run in any time, you get 300. And then the fastest is a
it's
thousand.
about
Well,
time.
1,000 is the highest score. Yeah,
The
yeah.
criteria is the time, or what do the little
Time, yeah.
stars do?
The stars they reduce the cooldown of your skills so you can use them.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I that's I know there's even videos of n- night snow something curse that you can watch and basically learn the
Yeah, I can
different
try see
trials.
how it goes. Oh yeah, this one. People hate this one. There's just like little tricks, but it's only one lap, so you can try a bunch of times if you want to. So for this one,
Yeah, or
how
that
I
time
do
at
it
night
is
where you're just hanging in Discord, you
so
can
I jump
be
at the
doing something like
bump
this.
and then go back, boom boom. Use the up jump, dash here on the bump, jump, jump, jump. This sword is a little annoying though. Boom, and then here I put the shoes on. Yeah, and then I always miss this jump because of my NX weapon because they still can't make it so that you just have a uniform in this content. Yeah, and now I just reset.
I got really sad when I
It's
got
not so bad.
I bought a transfer anvil for me to have like the Maple Llama stuff on the Arcane Umbra. I did that without knowing I would keep the look of the item. I thought I would need to then transfer the look of the new look in Arcane into the Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realize I have, from when they released Six
But just
Job, I have a Nexon set that gives me damage, and I'm losing 7 magic attack because I want to see the Maple Llama stuff. When I'm going to
yeah,
boss
there's two things,
something that
right?
I
You can have like the set that counts for your stats, and then the one that counts for your look.
yeah, but
So
you cannot look behind
yeah,
the
for the
Nexon.
weapon, yeah, yeah, it's not perfect system, yeah.
And then if I because my mind told me something like, okay, then you can transfer in weapon on the outfit preset, but then I look weaponless, not a,
Yeah. Yeah, they should just make it so that you can turn any item into an NX item, and then they would just make so much money. But there must be some reason why they can't. Oh fuck! There must be some reason why they can't do that. Otherwise, they would have already done that. I think because they would just print money.
they're probably saving that release for the time they need to do like a 1 week maintenance when they fuck up something and they want to press the red button and not only have people happy but make even more money somehow after a fucked up like that. But yeah, the in terms of the guild,
Oh,
I think that became realistic of all of a sudden.
But
But
the
in
main
terms of the
value,
castle,
the castle is the other thing. If you just have a few people and you're like barely doing C10A, it's going to cost you a lot of time to just unlock the room. The best thing you can probably do is see if you can. Oh, that was 800. See if you can just, while there's an event, if you could just join someone else's guild temporarily just to get into the enhancement room just to use it, and then once you're done, you spend all your money, you just rejoin your guild. A lot of people do that because the score, like the you lose the contribution points to the guild, but it doesn't subtract from your total score to get the level of the guild. So it's not that big of a
okay.
cost, you know.
And how much better is the enhanced room?
So you get the star catch for free without having to do the
Oh,
star catch. So if you do that in for very small projects, it's not going to make that much of a difference. But the more projects and the more, so if you just throw it
like
into the
Arcane
calculator,
Plus.
so it's this one here, the star catching. If you turn this off, what is this? 17 to 19 arcane difference is like 2 to 3.4, and if you add that, it's just like it's like 10% off basically, but on everything that you're doing. So it really adds up with bigger projects and more projects you have.
Yeah, especially when you get into the Arcane and then the Eternals.
Yeah, for Eternals especially if you run Eternals to during
Would you ever
shedding.
19 the weapon for the Arcane in a position like mine?
If you have backups, I would.
I have two backups for the weapon.
Wait, where did you hide them? Oh, here.
Second, yeah.
I mean, if you press for cash, I wouldn't, right? But I definitely would bring the weapon up to 19 just to, because again, 19 is really free compared to Boom Chance. But the other things we mentioned, I think are
Oh yeah, I would do the monocle, then the ping pong between the Twilight and the Tattoo, then Arcane's 19 being the last Arcane the weapon.
yeah,
And then I do mules and save for the weapon and secondary potential.
yeah.
Flame? How do you see my flames? Because I think I was following your progression grid
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like in the middle of mid game, maybe a little bit more advanced than that in some, but I'm more or less there. I don't think I have much more room to upgrade there. I'm starting to use my flames in the mills. I don't know if that's correct, even though correct is a strong word, but
Well, you have to see how high the flames are on those mules. Yeah, so these were kings. The weapon was 7 and some memes. Yeah, well, like if I had black flames, I would always use them on the main, right? Because then you can't mess up the flame. And then just look at what has the lowest flame score and put it on that. A really good one that I use for that is Wacky Beans Flames. This one here. I
oh, I
use
was
this
using
one.
the other one, the
Yeah, so here you can put all your flames in that you have on all your items, and then it'll basically just tell you in order, like, what is the chance if you use a flame that you have a chance to make an upgrade, or here you can see what are the percentiles of making an
oh,
upgrade. So it basically just
you
shows
basically
you,
just go by the order.
yeah. But so that's one. But the other thing is also type of flame. So if you have flames that are of a certain quality, and like your flames aren't like they're not insanely great, but they're not terrible either. Like if you have black flames, I would just use them on whatever needs the biggest flame upgrade, which looks like is the cape, and then the
Probably,
shield, right?
yeah, it's probably arcanes also because of just being higher
Yeah.
base values.
Mm-hmm. So black flames would go on there, but then the powerfuls and the eternals I probably use on the mules to just anything you want to boss on, just to evenly bring it up, because you can get a lot of the boss accessory pieces are all flame advantage, right? So you can very easily get like 50 to 60 flame score on those, and a lot of times they only have like 20 to 30. So 6 items per character, boom, immediately like 200 to 300 stat gain, very cheaply, right? So Once you go
Yeah,
through all of those, you can always circle back and start using the flames on the main as well. It's perfectly fine to just have one item whose flame is just completely fucked. As long as all the other items are good, you just actively work on one and just throw everything you get on one. And settle for something that's not hugely terrible until all the flames for the next week come in from the bossing, and then try again until eventually
until it passes the other
it
one, and
passes the
then
next one, and then you have your new priority. Exactly.
and how because I recently I need to I've been working on my flames for a short time because I thought potential and flames would get lost when I start for Sunday Boom. But I realized that is not true and the potential stays. I thought it would only stays up to epic, but that's only when you transfer into another item. And the
Yes.
the transfer from a trace into the item is not a transfer, which
Yes.
is
It just stays.
wait,
It saves everything, but only the Star Force goes back down. There are
yeah.
changes
So I
coming to that system though, so they are changing specifically in GMS. They announced that they are going to be doing changes. So especially for rare items, don't drop your traces because they mentioned that there's going to be things that we can do to restore traces to bring those back into being items.
okay, okay, yeah. When they add like the 25 being realistic kind of change, no?
Yeah, the 30-star change is probably going to be connected with that. Yeah.
Do we have any information on that? Should we, or well, should you or even I make an adaptation in the way I'm saving, in the way I'm preparing my projects,
Um. So
or
with
not
with
yet?
traces, if you can rebuild traces pretty quickly and pretty easily, that might mean that you won't need nearly as many backups of certain items. So
Or
that
maybe you
that could
still
change, but
will,
we need
but
more info on that first, right?
yeah,
So
because
so
I'm
we
I'm
don't know.
I'm only scared that they're doing that because of the inventory space.
Yeah, yeah, which is what they should be doing because especially for heroic, inventory space is a nightmare because we need to hold everything not just for our current project but for our potential future projects because we don't know what's going to happen in Korea, right? So we're just holding on to everything, and then yeah, you're not quite there yet, and you can definitely get rid of some reinforced earrings and you should be fine, and there's some
Yeah,
crack
yeah.
codes. So you're good on inventory space. Yeah, but once you start holding on to a bunch of slime rings, a bunch of Estellas, daybreak pendants,
Then we
extra
will.
arcanes in between items, you start adding all of that up and or in
Oh
between
yeah,
events.
exactly. And I had belts as well, so I was totally full. I was working on one slot at a time when I
Yeah,
had the
but
belts.
you're not at the point where you have like half your pitches done and you're getting like spare pitches on top of your current 22s and all that. So right now there doesn't seem to be anything different that you should be doing other than the current strategy, and hopefully in like a month or so we'll know a lot more on what that system is going to look like and how that's going to change how we do our inventory management and all that.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see if I had anything else here. So I had. Um, read. Oh, would you? I think it was already answered, but I had here how deep do I use the event on the mules? Because a way I could see it is I get my regular fragments or flames, etc. income. Then when I see an event, how do I measure if I'm close enough to an upgrade on the main for it to be worth using those there versus throwing? Because right now the two other 260s that I have
Hmm.
are like clean. They're burned and not much more. So there's I know there's room for improvement. Any little improvement is like 5 new bosses I can do.
Yeah, masteries is mostly big gain. Is
Yeah.
that the same for every class? So you might have to just peek into the class Discord real quick.
Hmm.
Um, but mostly the just unlocking the level 1 masteries will give them a lot. If you want to train them at all, then level 1 just for Solianis is really good to help with the mobbing.
I don't even want to train on my main.
Yeah, yeah, no, but and it's 125, so it's a lot. But like unlocking like the two most important masteries or something is going to give you a lot of free damage.
And would you
I pick like compensation
because
fragments, right? So you don't have to farm for them, and so you don't have to make drop rate gear. It'll be way more efficient. Like if you can get 100 fragments on a mule, like on your second or third character, versus 100 on your main, it's not only going to be more efficient because percentage wise, in terms of their damage, it's going to increase them by more. But also, it'll take them longer to get 100 fragments than it takes your main to get 100 fragments. So by that, it's even
yeah.
more efficient as well.
Also the because I used the current event, the double up one, to I
Mm-hmm.
selected two characters that I have on 250. Those are my like the marksman that is there, and one hero that is 250. And I selected those two. I'm not sure. I need to open like one of these calculators, EXP calculators. I need. Will you? Do you think I will be able to get them to 260? Because those were mules that I burned when burning was up to 250. So
Right.
they are like 18. That marksman is like 18 to 19 million combat power. It has like the notes maxed. It was like a secondary sort of main for a long time, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I should just by trying to push into the origin save. It feels like I could shave a fair amount of time if I get an origin on those, but I'm not
Well, so
sure.
if you want to compare it to like the, because I was on my Hayato, on my characters that are not libbed and that do not have Abso, I think a Hayato is a good example of like the funding of a character to make sure that you can. This character can do hard Lotus in probably in like around 6 minutes. So if I get a good run, then he dies right when I get my origin back. Sometimes I just slam my origin the second time just to nuke the boss, basically. Um,
Okay.
but it's no Abso. But like my emblem here is already like better than on your main character, right? So some things are. That's the other thing with if you funding mules, some things are just gonna hit. You know, for RNG, they're gonna hit better than another character, and then for others, you're gonna have to spend a bit more. But you see, I go
Yeah.
for all the budget solutions, right? So you got like 65 boss and 9 attack, which is like the worst 3 line possible, but it's 3 line, right? So that's a lot of value. It's got a heart. I've gone back through all of them to give them all. Oh, I don't have 15% on everything, but almost. But yeah, see the flames. It's just from free flames doing up. I do put like 1 star on it because it's pretty good stats from just 1 star, but I don't go further than that. But all the flames, I try to have like, if the items are 140, 150, I try to have like 70, 75 flame score, something like that on it eventually. But yeah, it's you
Yeah,
see
and I'm not.
sickness gloves at 19 because you can get that very easy from doing normal sickness in the beginning, right, to make money. Then you get extra pieces, and then you don't have to safeguard whenever there's an event. You can just slam that to 19. You very easily get a good flame on it. This is like a 120 plus flame because of free flames. Tyrant shoes, eventually, if you do HMAG long enough, you can just buy the Tyrant shoes, right, which are very cheap. The cape is free. And then CRA starts at 17, walks up to 19. If you have more pieces, eventually you can do 21.
Okay.
Um, this was just like Sakum accessories, right? And then when you get Black Bean Mark, you can first I get a 17, and if you have backups, you can try to just send it to 20 whenever there's an event. But like these are things that take a long time, and if
I
you
had
you know
like seven of those, and I boomed them. I had those as a backup for my monocle. That is why I
Mhm,
wanted to go like past 20. And
mhm.
when my monocles boom, I use the black bean marks on the main, and yeah, I'm starting to get some on the mules, so I'm starting to replace those face accessories, like
Yeah, and
ice
that,
accessories. But
that's when you get into situations, right, where you're not actively trying to upgrade any character, but you'll run out of things to upgrade, or it'll be too high risk on your main, and then you have some money left, and then there's always going to be some mule that got some drop, and then you can just always YOLO it because you don't need it to go, and if it goes, it's always going to be under budget, and then it's going to be a nice upgrade, and if it doesn't go, it's whatever because it's already doing what it can do anyway, right?
yeah, mules are weird in that sense because you can YOLO an item without passing from 17 to 19, even if it is a little incorrect. sometimes just because you have
Yeah,
it
yeah.
or because you could it
Inefficient
won't
maybe.
change the yeah it can be inefficient but it wouldn't change the progression of that mule. It's still gonna
Exactly.
clear when it clears and that's
Yeah.
fine. But then we are like super patient with let me just I want buy cubes to go from epic to legendary. Sometimes I will just use the cubes from bosses and when
Hmm.
that happens sometimes I when it hits unique sometimes I just buy extra cubes to tier that up. But also
Yeah. So,
the
so you see, I
the
have
weapon
21
and
CRA, but then like my pendants, I happen to have two Dominators, and I got both of them to 19. So now I have 18 superior and 19. But typically my pendants are like just 17s on most of my characters, right? Because for mules, pendants is a little bit difficult. But then
mhm,
the earring and the belt will be 20 or 20. Like if I get multiple superiors, I'll just transfer reinforced into 20 and then try to tap to 21. If it booms, then I'll just make a 20. If it doesn't boom, I'll use a 21, right? So for the belt, I only
yeah
had one, so I end up with 20. For the because making 21 star items, you could do this on 30% off as well, I guess, if you have a lot of the level 140 and potentially 150 pieces. I have some characters with like 20 star Abzo as well. Basically, 19, 20, 21 star is where all the efficiency is because 19 is very cheap. 20 is, well, 21 is good efficiency on fodder that you can make, and 20 is basically 21 star things transferred into 20, right? So
yeah
if most of your stuff is 19, 20, 21, right? See 20 superior, 21 kind of treasure. This stuff is 17. This is 21. This is 20 because that's max. 21, and then this can just be 17, and these can be 18 and whatever. But because the whole thing will come together anyway. This is 2 line attack, 1 line boss with a decent flame. So, but I don't have set bonus for, but I don't need it. It's still like a 7 minute hard lotus run or something. So I usually do like a 20-minute coupon, and then I just do all of these. Well, I don't do these. I don't do these bosses. Will takes too long, but you can say like I'm gonna do normal lucid and maybe normal will, and then once you hit twilight mark, maybe you drop will because now you have more damage, right? And then you can focus on the ones that you are doing. Like I'll do Princess No until I have a 21 kind of treasure, and then a second one transferred to superior, so at least a 20-star superior, and then I drop Princess No because otherwise that takes too much time. You know, one CRA boss is the same money, but is 1/10 of the time, so it doesn't
yeah
make any
unless you have
sense.
like the I found out about the summon flame that deals like real damage
Yeah, yeah, I
to the
always use
principal monsters.
the boss summon. Yeah, yeah, but even then it takes long because you're waiting for bosses to spawn and everything. CRA is literally just walk in, 2 buttons, and
Yeah,
loot and walk out. Right, it's so much faster for the same money.
yeah. I
So as
even
long
I
as you don't.
drop Princess Noah on a lot of characters. The
Hmm.
mules that are not
Yeah, it's optional.
secondary
It's optional
characters,
for sure.
I skip that. The only last thing I had is the weapon and secondary.
Hmm.
With what cubes would you roll them? I'm not necessarily looking for double primes, right? I could use just bright cubes. I mean glowing cubes.
Glowing. Yeah, I was use
The,
glowing. Yeah, you're
okay,
not. You don't need double prime, and also you don't need the
the
current
previous
potential
one.
isn't that good that you need to buy the insurance basically, right? Bright cubes is basically buying insurance so that you can hold your current potential. The people who make the mistake of using bright cubes too early, like um, before when we only had one emblem, sometimes people have this and they might use bright cubes here, especially if it took them a long time to get double magic attack. But in using bright cubes, the extra money you're spending on the insurance is basically making it so that you have a lower chance of actually getting the upgrade than if you just spent everything on glowing instead and just roll over it. So it like always it's a good idea. Like let's say for emblem, you want to go for level 100, right? You want to go for 3 line attack, boom, like that. It's about 40 bill, 53 here with glowing. But if you go with bright cubes for the same potential, it's like double the cost. You see that?
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, exactly. You're not. It is for prime lanes where it becomes better, or just
Yeah.
when you
So
have
sometimes
something
people
that
be
is
like,
so
oh,
good.
but I don't have 20, 30 bill. I only have like 5 bill, so I'm going to use bright cubes. But then what they do is you'll have to have, on average, 20 sessions of 5 bill before you hit your 3 line. Whereas if you just use glowing, you just wait until you have like 50 bill and then you buy all glowing. And then your
And it's
chances
also
are
hard to
just as
believe.
good with half the money,
It's
right? So,
also
yeah.
it's also hard to believe you're in a position where you have something good enough, but you only have that you want to save it, and then you have or well, you have something good enough that you're
Yeah,
not
there's
finding an
very few
offer within five.
situations where it's good enough to save and it's worth. The only situation I think that would happen is if you're trying to do like cooldown on hats and something like that.
For Culvert, I know for isolating that's useful, but
Mm-hmm.
when should I? Because I haven't paid attention to that. I've always seen that is a luxury of advanced late game people that they want to min max their secondary hat. It feels really weird on my position, but I'm running out
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah, me
upgrades
too.
until I
Same.
find a lot of backups and then start doing stronger bosses. So maybe I should start working on something like that.
I mean, a cooldown reduction hat. Yeah, you have decently short cooldowns. I mean, on the fire, I have a fire poison boss mule and have ice and lightning. But yeah, I think on my ice lightning, I also just rolled int, so you just kind of roll with it, as they say. But then for the fire poison, I know specifically for fire poison, cooldown reduction is very good, and I got what I got 3 seconds plus a line of int, I think, on like 15 cubes or something, which is ridiculous. Usually, I think that costs you like 50 bill, and I got it on like 1.5 or something. It's kind of
My
disgusting.
glove My glove is only one line of grid, but it
Yeah.
has two 10% lines. And
Mm-hmm.
I heard somewhere that a line of grid is roughly 30% of the main stat.
Yeah, it's like
So,
anywhere from 20 to 40. It depends on how much critical damage you already have, right? Because of like reduced efficiency. So classes with very
okay.
high critical damage. So like for my marksman, I have a glove that has 8% critical damage and 23% dex, which is actually better than 16% critical damage because archers have vicious shot, right? So that gives them a lot of
Yeah.
extra critical damage. So the critical damage loses value the higher you go. And some other classes as well, like Cadena, Hayato, and mainly the archers. But for everyone else, yeah, once it's like 30, 35. It's early on in the game. It's almost like 40%. But like the higher you go, the more you start using all the critical damage sources. And now with the Legion Champion as well, it's a little bit more critical damage that comes from that, and from
The
the
higher
buff.
main stat, so the percentage should be a little better
Yeah,
on the main
exactly.
stat.
So it's catching up a little bit, but it's still probably like around 30 or something. Yeah. But
So my question is, would
that's
you
like an
would you
8 bill.
ever
It's like an 8 bill thing. So that's probably after the weapon and the secondary, I would say, to try to do that.
before the 22 cannons and CRA?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say yeah.
Because it's roughly 10% gain with the chance of obviously high rolling a third line of like double crit, one line of int.
Yeah,
It would
but
be
you're a mage, so prepare for a strength line that you're going to be rolling.
yeah.
Let's stay
Yeah, yeah.
realistic, right?
Yeah, but it is a decent gain. I
Oh,
thought
for
it
sure, yeah.
wasn't I thought it wasn't because since I had 2/3 of what they're telling me I'm gonna be rolling for, I'm buying something that I'm only gonna get 30% of the value
Well,
on
there's
my
some other
mind.
stuff, right? I mean, like the top is unique with 18, and then the cape is unique with 21. So, I mean, if you're gonna go full out cubing, there's probably still better gains there. Maybe the pants even because it's only 15%, right? And it's already a legendary. So
So
those are
after 19
cool.
CRA, would you progress the potentials a little? Like
19
that's
arcanes, you mean?
20, yeah, like
Yeah, because like I said, like if you want to go 19 to 21, you probably want like 3 backups or so, and 21 to 22, you probably want like 5 to 6 backups. So you'll just need time for the next Star Forcing event anyway, and getting backups before you can spend on that. So I probably spend on potentials after that. Yeah.
Okay, so probably after this event, I'm hoping to get like two uh of my arcane items and the weapon to 19. And then I will probably run out of the leftovers unless I get lucky with boxes next week. But even if that happens, what I'm trying to ask is if I stop the 19 arcanes projects
Mm-hmm.
because I can do it on this Shining Star Force. In between the next Star Force event, would you do the potentials, or would you just save until Arcane is 19 and then go into potentials?
Um, yeah, so we have I mean it's probably going to be another month, right? But we should have get like safeguard up to 18 if we get the new Star Force system completely. So that should make 19 very doable, but it's going to be a bit more expensive compared to now in the lower stars. I think it's cheaper now like, with the Shining to get to 21, and then past 21 will be cheaper with the new system, something like that.
Okay, so similar to the getting to 17 right now or 15 right now,
Mm-hmm.
compared to when we needed to safeguard from 12 or 10 or.
Yeah, well, that was another thing with the traces. They said that they were gonna make the traces go higher. I expect that they're gonna just do it to 15, but um, that should save a little bit of time and money, right? From 12 to 15, that wouldn't be anything crazy, but it'd just be a bit more quality of life, honestly.
Okay,
Um, but when it comes to the potentials, just make sure the weapon and the secondary are not as cost a lot more, but they're going to be a lot more impactful, right? So right now they're going to be more efficient, and after that, you typically want to do the accessories first. So get your accessory potentials to like two and a half lines, but prioritize on things that are done star forcing or that are going to stay and you're going to transfer hammer through, right? So like the superior pendant, I try to go for like 24 to 27 on there. Um, the kind of treasure probably, right? Because if it booms, you're just gonna retrace into a new one anyway, so the potential will be saved. Um, Definitely those two. Hopefully you get a slime by then. um, but yeah, if you ever want to know, you can always throw it into the calculator, right? You can always see what is the next item that's going to be more efficient, but you can see like accessories are just always 150. Otherwise, you're gonna have weird outcomes. Is like it's pretty cheap, right? If you can get
yeah.
6% on like 6 items, boom, that's another 36. That's like 2 whole items almost worth of
Uh,
potential bonus.
Okay. Yeah, and when you say 2.5 lines, that's basically two primes and one
Two main
non-prime
stat,
line.
one
Or
all stat, basically. Yeah. So
okay.
what your hat has.
Oh, so that
I,
would be 2.5 right now.
yeah, I would say that's 2.5 line. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be like 3.5? Three and
Three and a half.
an eighth?
Three would be 30%, right? 12.99. So now you're getting nine
Okay.
percent luck instead of 3% int, which is less. So it's got to be less than 3 line.
Okay. All right.
I mean, sometimes people say 3 line, they just mean 3 lines that give you something, so they would call the hat 3 line, but I think that's not the traditional definition of it. So for the people who are using the more traditional hardline definition, it sounds a little bit like cope, like, but it gives stats like yeah, I know it gives something, but I would call that a 2.5 line. 3 line is like it's done, and then anything above that is like double priming and is like endgame crazy shit, which for a while was the smart and efficient thing to do, but with the Star Force changes, we might see another big pause on double priming. Like gloves is drop meso gear and then gloves, and then maybe cooldown hat for some people. But like even emblem, which is like the most efficient per money because that's already like a 300 bill investment, right?
Yeah.
For extra 3% attack. That's probably all just going to go away when the Star Force changes go through, and then just trying to tap 23s and 24s and all that stuff is probably going to become more efficient just because of the sheer amount of damage you gain from a star. But
Okay.
mostly because of how much time there is in between events, right? And people aren't going to sit on their money for 6 months just to try to get 3 lines something. But it makes more sense to sit like 6 to 7 weeks on your money and then spend it all on a Star Force event. It's more regular that way.
Yeah, especially if more room to to improve those come into the game, because a lot of people just have the 22 and they are either gambling 23s or trying to triple prime something that they have. You're probably on
Mm-hmm.
a similar spot like the one I'm describing.
Yeah, yeah. I have 223. I double primed my badge because that's
Yeah.
from the looks of it going to be best in slot for so long, and it's also the cheapest item to double prime. I would do heart, but I don't have a heart yet, so I just have the black hearts. I don't have the TC. But yeah, other than that, I only tried to double prime on one other item. Well, besides the glove, which was the slime ring, because I have a 23 slime ring. But I hit like the fake double prime, with the 10% all stat line on top and then 23. I hit that on like
Yeah.
4 items, so it's all fake. But
Okay.
next cube sale,
I
I
would
might. Yeah, I've got the slime ring and the pendant now 23, so I might
I
try to go
will
for double
every
prime.
often look at my coins I have on this account, and I will see my
Mm-hmm.
other coins, and I have like 700 of them, and I will always be ashamed I didn't get the other batch, so I could try to go
Mm.
past 17 on the batch.
Yeah, I mean, if you still, if the trace system works, you might be able to Star Force it, right?
Ooh, hopefully,
You
yeah,
might be
that
able
that
to
that benefits the
gamble it,
legacy
bring it
items.
back. Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, but I think I have a backup as well.
And
I
what kind
have,
of resource it takes from you to
yeah,
revive it, or
I think they said something like a quest. My guess is going to be like if it's for pitches or something that you get like a quest where if you kill the
you need to
boss
kill
maybe
the
like
boss.
5 times and that you can restore it or something like that. Anything like that will heavily increase the value of just running the boss and as soon as it's still going to keep the RNG of needing to get the first drop, but at least once you have your first drop, you might be able to get to the point from first drop to 22 a lot faster than now, because now it
And
could be like you wait a year, you get one, it just booms at 18. You wait another year, it booms at 17. Like there's just nothing you
yeah,
can do. It's just so helpless.
but you would probably steal or even more just YOLO the pitch you get, because if it booms, you can revive it at some point, and if it
Yeah,
goes, it's the only way it's a realistic upgrade over, I don't know, superior or something.
yeah, that's kind of the situation when you get to, right. Like a lot of people have the like 22 or boom mentality, but it's just more simple to have that as your strategy, because then you just know whether you invest into it, right, in potential or flames or not, if it goes or not. But if you're still progressing on your character and you're progressing more slowly and you're playing a bit more casually, it you the fine-tuned strategy of like this first, then this, then tap things up, it's a bit more work and a lot more thinking about it, but it will make it so that you can get to the higher bosses, so you can get more pieces, so you can then get to that point. And if you end up with full 22 superior, that also means that if you get a pitch, it's going to be 22 or nothing for you, because that's the only way it's going to be an upgrade, right? Even if it needs to hit, even if you have all the pieces and the set bonus. So then that makes it easier to make that decision on what to do with a pitch. Like I have one mule that still had, I think I had 122 superior, but 321 superiors. So I'm just going 21 pitch on there. If I hit anything, if I can, and that guy's now fully in like 7 or 8 set pitch, I
That's
think seven.
even by staying on 21,
Mm-hmm.
you you are more realistic to have the pitch on 21 than 22, because
Yeah, way more
it it,
realistic.
it it is really, it should be really painful to have like a 20 star pitch item, knowing that you need 22 only to upgrade it, and you are
Yeah,
between
it's
20 and
something like
22, and
35% more chance to boom it or something for that extra last star. So you'll get
exactly.
to so got 21 ET, 21 Berserk, 22 eye patch because I had backup, and 22 source because I
are
also had a backup, and then
are the
21.
easier bosses easier to find the pitch as well? Like for example, is it easier to find the patch or the berserk in comparison to Source of Suffering?
From my whole account, I would say yes, but it's hard to know if that's 100% correct because the lower level bosses are just accessible to more characters as well, and you've been running
Mm,
them for faster because you get earlier access, so you're gonna see more of them always. So I don't know if it inherently means that the drop rate for the pieces is better, but I don't know. In general, I feel like books are pretty rare, and sources is very rare. Emblem seems pretty common. ET seems kind of on the rare side as well, but Berserk and Eye Patch seem to be the most common. But yeah, I would carefully say that I think the drop rate is higher, but it might just be confirmation bias because you can get there sooner and with more drop rate and on more characters, it's easier to scale up, so you'll see more of them. I know people who have they've got like all the pitches done. They just don't have a berserk yet, and they've only seen one so far. And then last event, I
yeah,
was Star Forcing. I had 6 berserks over my boss mules, and I got 3 or 4 of them to 21. I got like six
that actually
pitches to
reminded
21.
me I need to start doing solo will because last week or the one before that I duo will
Mm-hmm.
and I lost the blink to a book.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I. Hmm.
And when you are the
Years
party
ago,
leader
but
and
I lost my
you're
blink as well. Yeah,
and when you're passing that leader, it hurts a little bit more because you
yeah,
know
yeah.
that one is gonna drop.
Hurts your soul. Yeah. Well, the next one could drop the next week, or it could be
Yeah, or I
18
could
months
just
from
start.
now. Who knows?
I get easy access to doubling my odds on pitch by just doing it solo.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I should start doing solo will. Learn to. It is still hard, even though I have everything blurred and I'm paying attention to the eyes and the way the spider moves.
Mm-hmm.
It's still hard to recognize sometimes which one it's gonna do.
The spider. Let's see if I can. What's teleport V? That's the small one, right?
Yeah, when I'm not attacking, I can see it, but when I'm
That's the
like,
big
for
one.
example, in the origin where everything's blue, and then I'm attacking, and then I have like summons, and then
Mm-hmm.
it becomes a little harder to tell. I can tell when it is already like too high up, and
Yeah.
I get to see the
Exactly. You
like a
just
couple
want to
of
see
frames of
if he
the.
goes all the way up here and the smoke like touches the clock, then you have to move for the other for everything else. You basically just stay and just walk around them in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And you just
And I
teleport.
should be able to burst it. At this point, I'm able to probably not die until phase 3. Maybe a random death on phase 2 because of the web and not paying
Mm-hmm.
too much attention. But other than that, I shouldn't die, even in hard mode. So I'm probably gonna give it a try this week. If I
Hopefully.
can seem to complete it by Friday or something, I can do it really fast. But yeah, and it will also help the Liberation Quest a little if I
Yep.
can upgrade that to solo.
Yeah. If you can get to what was I looking at? I think if you solo hard Lotus hard Damien and like maybe duo hard Lucid hard Will and like trio C10A, it's still like the total liberation is 4.5 months or something. So like half the time of the old. It's still a big
Mhm.
speed up. Oh yeah, and then you add Black Mage. But Black Mage is I don't know. Black Mage is a lot of points for an individual boss, but if you even have like a few people in a party, it's immediately kind of shit. Like you lose so much
Yeah,
value so quickly.
because of it being monthly, basically. Because if a single V healer, I think I'm literally doing more traces by doing normal V healer solo
Mm-hmm.
than if I would 6 man Black Mage on a month.
Yeah, it's like 500, it's like 80. Is it?
It is like
Of
600 now.
I think maybe two normal Hillas. I think solo is more than a 6-man BM. Yeah,
Exactly, and you get to do up 4 in a.
yeah. You could do four, 4.5. Yeah, so
We're
it's
gonna
wild.
get those resets. Should I use them on the ones that this is just a confirmation. I will probably use it on the bosses that I know I solo. The
Yeah,
hardest liberation
highest
bosses I
highest you
can
could
solo.
solo. Yeah, but you can only reset one boss one time per week, right? So like this,
Yeah,
you
it's gonna be
can't.
like right now. If I stay exactly like I'm doing, it would be Lucid, Lotus, Demian, but it probably should be like Gloom, Will, Lucid.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
And
perfect.
preferably one that drop pitches that you still need, right? The mezzo isn't
Yeah,
as
so
important, but
so
more
any
pitches
of
that you
those.
need. Yeah, all of them now for
Cool.
you. Yeah,
Exactly. Even Twilights are really good on my end right now.
yeah. You never know. I mean, I think I had two mules that hit like 21 on the first Twilight and 20 on the first bean mark. So
Ooh.
that's the other thing, right? If you're funding more characters for more bosses, some of them are just going to get lucky very quickly, and then others are going to take longer. But you always want to look through the average, and that's why you don't want to get too discouraged if one character gets unlucky star forcing, because then another character
Yeah.
might just get really lucky and it immediately compensates.
Yeah, I basically lost 20 of my 40 bills on the last 5, 10, 15, and I had friends that their total budget was like 10 bills,
Mm-hmm.
and they were saying things like, "Oh, I would quit in your position" or something like that. But
Yeah,
yeah, I've been here
that's
long
all right.
enough to know I will get lucky at another one and compensate.
You're
And
resilient,
I
right?
also, I also mostly enjoy controlled RNG games, TFT, TCG, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's how it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 20 builds is like 2 weeks. So it's like if you're gonna quit because of two wheels of progress, then probably Maple is not the game for you.
No, no, that's the yeah, and people making 70
Also,
bill a week or something. Yeah.
on our party, we have probably the least skilled Wild Hunter main. We have that specific person on our party, and we're gonna be
Nice.
we're gonna have the record of clearing Black Mage with the least skilled Wolf Hunter.
This is that
He can,
self-proclaimed or is that kind of like making
yeah,
fun
yeah,
of
no,
you
it
or?
is self, but it is also no, it is also a meme within our party basically.
Okay,
He's been
okay.
playing with us like since old school Maple Story, pre Big Bang, and he never. If I consider myself really handless, he's even more. So we are like
Right.
a really low cap skill kind of party. We have
Yeah.
like one friend that is really good, and then we we brute force a lot of things, or we need to triple practice what he would need, like one run to grasp. We would need like five, but
Hmm.
but yeah, we're gonna clear that with a really
It's good.
strong
It's good for your ego,
but
right?
really
To have someone
skillless.
who's even
Yeah, yeah.
worse in your party.
Yeah, it's probably a boost. He when we clear something when we're trading, like, because I didn't want to do it too often, but I was still down to help them with Apsos.
Hmm.
So we would trade the hard Lotus and Demian,
Hmm.
and it would take like I would consider myself really bad at at bosses, but they will die to those. So it basically we're really bad at bossing, and we're gonna be clearing Black Mage at some point for main party. So it's gonna feel good. It is right now our main goal. I know Maple has been past Black Mage for a really long time, but that is still we're still big band kids. We're that generation, so we want to kill Black Mage.
I mean, if you can solo hard lucid, then you can definitely, and you're like 275 plus, then you
I
can,
should be joining parties right now and practicing it, but I use my friends as an excuse. I'm waiting for them, so
yeah. No one's
but
ever
I
done
should be
that.
practicing. Hopefully, At some point they will add a way to practice because I cannot get myself really fast, or I
Yeah,
don't
you
know
have to
if
do
I can
stages.
even get myself to, yeah, to stage two and
Yeah.
three. So I can only practice phase one on my own. I can find a party that is practicing it, but
I
then
mean,
again, it
Korea
would
has
require
the
probably to
they
have
reset the
other
cooldown
friends.
now, but that's about it. No phase box, no phase testing yet.
Yeah, that will be a nice upgrade when they do that on 2030 or something like that. When they
Yeah,
decide
who
that's
knows?
a good
And
thing
there's
to have. But yeah, so really nice checkup. I didn't I know I had an idea, but the order in which you told me to do the things, it's a lot different from what I had. I didn't even
okay.
consider having potentials like in the middle of those upgrades. I would probably consider leaving those there because for me the three lines secondary was good enough, and double line arcane that is getting replaced soon-ish
Hmm.
was also good enough. But it seems like I could get a really cheap upgrade there that
Yeah.
will make me
Yep.
liberate even faster. And
For sure. Yeah. And then that's going to be a big. Then you can also invest a lot harder into one piece, right? You can throw all your black flames in there until you hit something really good, and all of the cubing until you hit something really nice. Usually
it
people
still
save
feels bad
about
to
like.
use flames on the arcane if I'm that close. Well, December is not necessarily close for a lot of people, but
Well, the weapon is fine.
from
Like it's tier 6 plus some extra, right? So I
yeah.
probably wouldn't flame that. I would flame the arcane armors because those are gonna stay longer. Because those will need to be replaced with eternal, so that'll take way longer to replace.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I will get into those projects. So probably next year's session will be about pitch weight room or something.
Yeah, probably building up eternals and pitches, and then but in that time that gives you a lot more breathing room as well to work on the Legion champions and that kind of stuff,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And then you
and I
can
will I will
much
bring
cheaper
my
upgrades.
other mains that I have there that
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
to. I'm now that I wanted to get the 250s to 260, so I double up burn them, but I'm sure I should have selected the Bowmaster and the Nightwalker and get them to get some
Yeah, maybe.
fragments.
Yeah. I don't know. I selected lower level characters as well. It's pretty efficient on higher level characters, but I selected some lower level characters as well. But that's more because I'm aiming for some achievements. I don't like grinding, but there's an achievement for getting a 275 in every single class.
Ooh,
But right now
okay.
I have one pirate and two warriors, and the next one is going to be a pirate and a warrior and a archer. So I just picked the highest level mage and thief that I don't plan to train at all, and just threw those in there instead. And so that's completely different
Okay.
priority. So
Yeah, no, and I am building those other mains. I like the the Bowmaster's simplicity, and I like the Nightwalker's survivability on bosses. And
Mhm.
it moves way different from a mage since I'm so used to TP. So they both move different, and I like the way those classes are played, and that is why even though I already had like a bug and a marksman that were stronger in paper, I mean the items were better. They just were 250,
already funded.
and yeah, they were already funded, but they were 250.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't have access to six yet. I could
Yeah.
level
I mean,
those
there's a lot of
10.
mag pots around, but yeah,
Oh yeah,
it
now
takes a
I
bit.
finally got to 9K. This 9K Legion is
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that. Congrats.
I only thank you. I only got it, and I am realistically past that, but I like how it looks, so I didn't log in back into the Mule
I
linked
see.
character, so it stays on
That's why it
9K
was
for.
perfectly 9,000. I noticed that it was stuck on there.
Yeah, yeah, I haven't, but I don't have any other character that I need to get to 200 or 210, so I can start working on just throwing whatever into another character every MacPod or even. at some point it will be efficient to use coupons there as well, like the vouchers.
Yeah, yeah, the darker blue ones, right? The
Oh
enhanced
yeah,
EXP
that I will
franchises.
still use them on the main until 280 probably, and then after that probably we'll just throw them
Yeah, sure.
at the next one. And then the blue ones I will use them to have any character, even if the link is not good, to 10, and then from 210 to 220 maybe at some point. Same thing with the strawberries
Yeah, I will
and level up
say,
helps.
because I was leveling up all my characters to 225. With the event like right now, where you get the Mulong, like the Shadow EXP, right? The I wish I had kept at least one class at 200 so I can get all those levels for free. But now I could, the lowest I could start was 225, which no, it's not that bad, but it's already gone from 225 to 240 with like barely any training. Already gained 15 levels. It's so free.
Yeah, you could have used those extra resources you used to get to 225 on that on an already 225 to maybe 230 or 235 it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's probably it is min maxing at that point, and you don't really know what's coming
Oh,
next.
for
So
sure. Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for all the information. Every upcoming session, I was l- basically on your YouTube channel. It is like my history coming back to Maple. I have when I came back and I didn't know about Infinity, and now I'm talking about maybe finding some pitches on some bosses I'm doing. So yeah, definitely the conversation is more fluent. I don't need to tell me as much about content anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it is guild, I know nothing about guild, but you already mentioned how I should go about it. But
Yeah, for
yeah,
the room, you need to first find the recipe, and then you need to get 30 breaths of the artisan, which is like a very rare drop. Which it's only from hard lucid and up. So if you don't have a lot of active people in the guild, building that
yeah,
will take forever.
yeah. But we're gonna build it slowly, and the tech of joining another guild for an event is something that is doable, especially for some of my friends that are more that might not be as bound to the name of the guild
Yeah.
as I
Mm-hmm.
am. But yeah, so cool, nice.
Yep. Okay, you're
Thank you so
welcome.
much, and yeah, if you turn on stream for any of these upcoming events, I will be there hopefully. So yeah, best of luck with all your projects you are addressing at the moment.
Yes, thank you. All
Perfect.
right. Yeah, but
Thank
good
you.
luck, and yeah, let me know if there's anything else or any resource you need. You can still use the Twitch chat and everything, right? Most of the stuff is still in
Mhm.
there, and
Yeah, I use it. I use it
I
all the
keep it up
time.
to date.
The
Yeah. Okay.
other day, I was looking. Now I have it saved, but I was looking for the all the commands
Mm-hmm.
page that you have, and
Yep.
I jumped to that chat for a little bit. The other thing I want to ask you is because I have it everything written down here, but did you record it?
Yeah, I was recording it on my side. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I have it written here, but if you will you upload that to YouTube or where could I find that?
Yeah, sure. I'll upload it on YouTube.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, that will be really useful. So okay, so let's see if I can get some time to farm during the upcoming week in
Mm-hmm.
between things from work, so I can get maybe a little extra
A little
billions for
cash.
the
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Good luck on the Shining Star Force. Hopefully, you can succeed in your
You do. Are
projects.
you creating anything important on the Shining?
Uh, I might have like one Eternal somewhere to try, and then well, we had an
An
event
eternal
not too long
somewhere
ago, so
is a crazy sentence to say. If I had an eternal, it will be like I know exactly where it is. An eternal somewhere. It's a
well,
phrasing.
yeah, I was moving some characters around because my arc has the four pieces, and I only just started Limbo, so that's gonna take a long time to get all the pieces for that before I can
Oh yeah,
even. That's many
is
weeks.
there? There's a new set right with Limbo.
Limbo starts the brilliant accessories, yeah, on hard Limbo.
That's they're gonna power creep the in a way
Pitch.
that pitch is accessible.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
When Baldrix comes out, then the pendant comes out. So then there'll be two set for that. And then the third item in the set has just been released in Korea, which is a metal that you can flame.
A metal that you. Oh, okay.
That's part of the set.
Nice. Nice,
But that
nice.
boss isn't like above. So Baldrix is coming out for level 290, which I can't even do. And then, but the boss after that is immediately being released. The adversary is being released in 4 difficulties immediately, so like easy, normal, hard, and extreme. But I think is level between level 275 and 285. I think. So it's
And
not.
can you get it from the drop? Can you get it for an easier difficulty?
Um, I don't remember exactly. You probably have to do it on harder or extreme, kind of like
Okay. Yeah,
Black
makes sense.
Mage what I think. But there's also pieces and and also boxes for armors and everything. But it's mostly, I mean, by the time that stuff comes out, well, I mean, some people are still going to be working on their Eternals, but it's going to share Eternals with Kalos and Kaling, so that you can have like 3 bosses per week to get those pieces from, rather than just 2. So that's
Yeah,
nice.
it becomes faster like when
Mm-hmm.
C10 released as well for arcanes.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Perfect. So thank you so much and best of luck with the Shining Star Force as well.
Yep. Thank you, and good luck to you as well.
Thank you.
See you around.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.